Hello, hello. I forgot to check if my mic was working properly. Let me just let me just make sure I don't sound like butt. It looks like I'm good from what I'm seeing. All right. I forgot to turn on my music. What am I doing? I forgot to turn on the music. Give me a second. Give me a second. Alrighty. Should be good now. Let me send out the stream link to the Discord group. See if I can get a couple people in here. Do 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 do. Bum, ba, da, 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 dum. All right. And now we wait. I'm just gonna wait until we get some people in here at this point. I mean, that's pretty much all I'm doing. Do 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 do. Ba, na, na, na. So I'm in copy link on this video on this stream, hoping that that'll kind of help with the algorithm. Yeah, I'm gonna start soon-ish. I have a decent feeling about today. I have a decent feeling. I have a decent feeling that mayhaps we could get a little luckier today. God willing. Alright, well, I'm not sure if we have anybody here yet, but I'm gonna get started pretty shortly. Just gonna drink a little water first, hold on. Alright. Let me actually do this. Hold on, sorry. Bro, why is it being so... Alright, hold on. Are we good? Yes. New. Come on. New. Dude, what the fuck? Why is this taking so long? Am I good now? Bro. Why is it... Okay. Stop. Alright, now I can chat through OBS. That's all I was trying to set up. In case I want to leave something in chat, I don't have to like go all the way to stream on my phone. I can just do it, which is convenient. Alright. Well, I'm not sure if we have anybody here yet, but I am going to get started. I'm going to get started. We've been live for about 5 minutes. I'm not sure if I have anybody here, but I'm sure people will join as time progresses. So I'm going to get my counter up. There it is. All right. So I'm just like moving shit on my desk. We left off at 8,300 when I streamed last night. I plan on getting to 9,100, 9,150 maybe, so that I could set myself to potentially hit 10,000 by the end of the night. That'll be my goal. If I burn out quicker than that, then I burn out quicker than that. But at the very least, I want to try to get to 9,100. That's my goal. Ideally 9,150, but I guess we'll see. Alright. Without further ado, let's get started. We go until Suicune shines, or until about 9,100, 9,150 encounters. Let's get started. Let me just make sure my FPS is up. Alright. Here's encounter 8,301. And there it goes. And we're doing this. And we're doing this. I really hope today's the day. I've been hunting the Suicune for a minute. It's on pace to potentially be my longest hunt. If it goes 218 more encounters, it'll tie Eevee. And if it goes beyond that, it'll beat Eevee for my longest hunt so far in this challenge. It'll only be a matter of time before we find that out. What was supposed to be my little victory lap hunt has now turned into the longest one. Which is quite unfortunate. I just hope we're not here for too much longer. Hopefully this will be done by today or tomorrow. That is my hope. I do know what time it is. Just in time for the 10th encounter of the stream, Derek. Oh, state testing. Forgot that you do that when you're in like middle school and stuff. Or high school. Either one. I think they also do that in elementary school too. I don't even remember. It's been so long. I'm too old. I have a decent feeling about today, though. In terms of Suicune, I have a decent hunch. I think my hunch is the best it's been. I think I feel the best about today that I've ever felt about a hunt. That I've ever felt about this hunt. Like, I feel like there wasn't, like, a significant... Like, I know there was, like, one stream, I think, last Sunday where I was like, I'm feeling pretty good about today, but I feel like, specifically today, I feel the best that I've ever felt about getting the shiny. I think it might just be because I've passed odds, and it should theoretically happen soon, but it ain't happening today? Well, I really hope I prove you wrong, but... I really hope I prove you wrong. I guess we'll see. $83.21. We are officially 200 away from what Eevee took. If Suicune goes, well, now 200 encounters more, it'll officially be the longest hunt. Pizza rolls. Pizza rolls sound good. I had my coffee for my brunch today, so I'm feeling a little better than I usually do for an afternoon stream. I got like, oh my god, it was so bad. I got like no sleep during the week when I was going to like my college classes. So I went to bed at like, I think 12:30 in the morning last night. Not technically today, because it's 12:30 in the morning, but you know what I mean. I went to bed at 12:30 in the morning, and I woke up at like 12. Fell asleep for almost a full 12 hours, like 11 and a half hours of sleep. And I'm scared that was gonna, I was still gonna be recovering from that once I got on stream, but I had a good brunch, and I drank coffee, so I'm feeling decent right now. Sleep during the class? Honestly, there have been a couple times during some of those classes where I wouldn't fully sleep, but I would feel my eyes shutting a little. If you are caught with any cellular device, your test will be counted as prohibited behavior. Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Don't follow that advice. Don't follow that advice. Your parents would not like that. The pro strat is to sleep during the class, though. Sometimes. Listen, I don't do this normally, and don't take this advice from me. I'm only saying this because this is a funny story. But there was one time, like my business professor, like in the summer, I took summer classes last year, and I hated my business professor so much, like I thought he was such a terrible teacher, and I would sit in the front of his 8 in the morning class, which I would have to get up at like 5 in the morning to get ready for, off of like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And I would sit in the front of the class just to fall asleep in his face. Like literally, I'd sleep through the entire 3-hour lecture, because this guy would have to cover 78 pages of material, and he'd get through like 2 of them just because he would not stop talking. So I would get so upset that I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna sleep in his fucking face. I'm gonna see if he gets the hint then. And he never did. But I'm sure he felt my disrespect at the very least. I do not recommend doing that, for the record. You should pay attention in all of your classes. I was just so tired, and I was not on my best academic behavior at this point in time. I still think it's funny looking back, but I don't recommend that. And if you're ever going to take summer classes in college, don't take very early classes, and ideally take them online. I'm not sure if I don't think Derek's in college. I'm not sure about you, Midnight. But sleeping in front of his face is a very bold move. He never said anything. He's a pussy. Fuck that guy. God, that guy made me so mad. He deserved every second of it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, if y'all are ever in a situation where you have to take summer classes for college or something, just don't. Just don't. B, if you have to, like, just take them online. You already decided against doing college. That's fair. Some people, I know a friend that me and him were in the same grade. We graduated high school together. Still a really good friend of mine. He's like probably like one of my closest friends. Who went to college for a bit, but he didn't like it, and he ended up just working a lot, and that's working out well for him. So, if you want to do other shit that isn't college, it's fully an option. I'm doing it because I didn't really have a solid plan after high school, like most high school kids who are still kids, pretty much. And yet we're expected to make, like, real life adult decisions by the time we're 18. So you just go to college to A, buy yourself more time, but B, set yourself up a little better for a good job afterwards. But if you already have shit figured out, then you have shit figured out. There was one teacher that year, though. It was like I said, so for my business class, I had a business class, but then there was a recitation class, which is like a follow-up class that you do for the same topic, but you do, it's like with a different professor and you do different things, and it's for a shorter period of time. It's hard to explain what a recitation is, but it's basically, there was like the actual lecture, which is like the dude sitting in front and taking notes. And then you had a recitation where you would meet with a different professor who would have you work on certain things involving business. I'm a finance major, by the way. I should probably put that out there, which is why I'm taking business classes. And this teacher was actually really nice. She was really sweet, and she'd help us a lot with our work, and she was very, like, flexible. Like, if you missed an assignment or whatever, she would, give you an extension. Like, she was a really nice teacher. But because I'd be so tired, because I was getting no sleep, like, pretty much every day, there would be times where I'd accidentally fall asleep in her class. And there was one time where she, like, pretty much called me out on it, and I felt really bad. But, she was really nice. I obviously feel bad about falling asleep in front of teachers normally, but in front of teachers I hate, not as much. Well, hate is a strong word. I don't hate that guy. I just think he's a little bit of an asshole. Like, he was playing with our money and our time like it was nothing. Like, you're kind of an asshole for that. $75 in already. Look at that. I'm realizing the one issue with swapping out my Gyarados is that I'm not going to have something with a dive HM if I need it. But I mean, I could always just put it back in my party. If I need to use dive or something. Because, I mean, I guess I could just give that to Suicune, but I'd rather not. Like, I'll keep Surf on it, because Surf is just a good move. But other than that, I don't really want to teach the Suicune any HMs. I know at some point I'm going to have to give Nidoking Rock Climb, I'm pretty sure. I think that does become a required HM at some point, which I'm just going to get rid of Strength, because I already gave Strength to my Meganium. Yeah, you can. Yeah, don't feel free to go take your shower. It'd be really funny if you missed the shiny though while you were doing that. That would be really funny. Almost 100 encounters then. Oh yeah, it'd be hysterical. It would be. God forbid I banter a little bit midnight. You always joke about how this hunt's gonna go 30k. Frost just sent me a freaking Instagram reel. No. Something stupid. That was 96. I almost forgot to count that one. Please, Suicune, I need this. I want to finish the game. You're taking way too long to shine. I want to play Pokemon Platinum. Definitely would be karma for me saying it ain't happening today. Yeah. It probably won't happen. Probably. Suicune is taking its sweet time, but to be honest, I think I'm still only about 60-something% likely to have seen it statistically by now, so that's still a whole 40% chance, you know, that's... Definitely not the most in my favor, to say the least. Almost longer than Eevee, yeah. Time-wise, it isn't. I think even if the Suicune took 10 or 11k, I think it would still only be about the same amount of time that real life time that Eevee took. But in terms of encounters, it looks like it's gonna pass Eevee. Imagine if they were the same exact encounter number. Imagine. I wonder how often that happens to people where they get 2 shinies. If they do like a shiny DTQ or like a just like a shiny only run, like how often do you get 2 shinies that happen on the same exact encounter number? That's probably pretty fucking rare. $84.14. Well, 84.15 now, but now 16. I really hope it shows up soon. Alright. You be right back, Midnight. A 100 encounters away from Eevee's encounter number. Or 100 away. Let's see if Suicune can do it. Just gotta get through another 100 to pass Eevee. I think it's funny that we are 8,100 encounters higher than what Ho-Oh took. I think that's funny. I think that puts into perspective just how lucky Ho-Oh was. We are almost... We're getting close to 8,192 encounters. Plus Ho-Oh's encounter number. Just for Suicune. I think if you combined every single hunt I've done so far, except for Eevee's, I think Suicune has probably taken about that many encounters. If you combine the total encounter number for every single hunt I've done so far, except for Eevee. Chikorita was about 183 Pokemon seen. There's a 61 like starter tables seen, but that's 3 Pokemon per. So that's 183. Plus Zubat, which is 2,060, so that's like, you know, 2,200-ish. Plus Nidoran would take it up to, you know, 75, 7,700-ish. Plus Ho-Oh. That was Nidoran, Chikorita, Zubat, and Ho-Oh. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah. Pretty sure, like, literally, if you combined all those hunts, it'd be less than Suicune. Just crazy to think about. But I mean, I guess that means this was more bound to happen, given that. Eight, 4, 4, 4. Gonna hit another palindrome soon. Alright, we're about 150 encounters into this stream. Not too shabby. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. I'm like really anticipating it. I'm anticipating the Suicune more than I ever have. Like, I really am feeling it right now. Even though logically my brain wants to tell me that it's probably still not gonna happen. I don't know why, like, I just have this feeling in my heart that it's gonna happen. Even though logically I don't think so. It's very weird. Brain's telling me no, my heart's telling me yes. Should probably not get my hopes up too high though. Should probably chill out. Suicune, please. Please. I want to play the game. I don't like the idea that I've potentially only done half the work, if that. I do not like that thought in my head. But I guess I'm gonna have to get comfortable with it, huh? Mildly annoying. How many counters do we think it's gonna take? I want to say 10 to 13k is my guess. But I could see it going to 16 to 20k as well. You really don't know. You really don't know until you know. I want to say 10 to 13k though. I hope it, and I want to say it won't go over double odds, but I don't know that for a fact. The 12% chance it will, which is way higher than I'd like. $84, $82. $84, $83. And this will be $84, $84. Getting very close to Eevee's number. I think I made a very brief prediction when I started this hunt that I thought it was going to be somewhere in between Nidoran and Eevee. Definitely starting to doubt that now. Now that we're here. Hey, what's up, Nick? How we doing? How are we doing? Getting close to passing Eevee in terms of encounters. $8492. That's 300 above odds. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Somebody translate that? I don't know how to read Japanese. I think that's Japanese anyways. Alright, this is 8,500. $21 away from Eevee's encounter number. Now just 20. Ow. It's gonna be longer than Eevee, huh? It's looking like it. It's looking like it. Be pretty difficult to bet on the fact that it would happen in the next 17 encounters. But it could. 8510, we're getting there. We are getting there. Never a great feeling to hit numbers like this. I mean, kind of is, because half of you is like, it should happen soon, statistically, but then half of you is like, it really could go double this encounter number, and potentially beyond that. It has to happen to somebody, you know? It's bound to happen to you at some point, right? I just hope it's not right now. I don't hope we don't have to go over double odds. That's essentially that's all I'm hoping for at this point. Five left. Three left. Alright, if it doesn't shine right now, it's at least bound to tie Eevee. Alright. Let's see it. If it's not shiny right now, it is officially our longest hunt in terms of encounters. Alright, there it is. Suicune is officially our longest hunt in terms of encounters. What rumors spread for me as a kid? I think there was a couple times when I was in middle school where there was just one girl in my grade where like people would rumor that like I had a crush on her or that we were dating when we very much weren't. But like shit like that, like typical middle school shit. Why, Suicune, why? Why do you do this to me? Yeah, safe to say this victory lap has quickly turned into a victory mile. We're talking about Pokemon rumors like you could get. Oh, that type of stuff? Not like personal rumors? I don't know. I don't really remember. I don't remember talking extensively about Pokemon with people in my school. I know I still really liked Pokemon in middle school. I played Pokemon Brick Bronze on Roblox all the time, but I don't remember. It's too long ago for me to remember things like that. The only one I really remember was when the iPhone X came out, the iPhone 10. I was in like middle school when that phone came out. And like, it wasn't necessarily a rumor, but like, you were essentially like, treated as if you were like really like I guess the rumor is that you were like overly wealthy or like incredibly wealthy if you could get your hands on a phone like that. And I got my hands on an iPhone X when I was in middle school, and every time I would show people it, they actually treated me like I like I was some sort of guy. I don't think that's really a rumor. I guess the rumor being like, I don't know, I guess you're very rich or very wealthy. Or like whatever. But nothing video game related that I can remember. I don't remember anything video game related. I think the only one I can kind of vaguely remember that was Pokemon related was like something like getting like a level 100 Magikarp and it learning a really good move. And I think that was a thing in like Project Pokemon on Roblox, where if you got like a level 100 Magikarp, it would learn like a really good move. In that game specifically. So I think that's just like a rumor I personally held for a while, that getting a Magikarp to level 100, it gets a really crazy move. But that's about it. That's all I can really think of. Oh, come on, Suicune, why? Why? Please. Please, I'm already over odds. Please. At this point, I'm pretty sure I've passed Ho-Oh's encounter number and odds combined. What's 323 plus 8192? Oh, sorry, 322. Not 323, 322 plus 8192. That's... Why can't I not do the math in my head right now? I think that's like 84 something. Alright, well, let's do it this way. Okay, so 8192 plus 300 is 8492. That plus 22 is 8514, I think. That's a really cool rumor. I wish that was real. Imagine if there was like secret evolutions for Pokemon beyond what their supposed final one is using that stone. That would be kind of cool. There's an entire page called Rage Candy Bar. Rage Candy Bar is also a key item in this game. That's interesting. Really well made fake mon, yeah. I don't even know what any of the fake mon look like, to be honest. I haven't looked too much into that. Ah! Please, Lord, Arceus. Shine your light upon me, Arceus. Please. Shine your light upon the Suicune, more importantly. Bless this Suicune with a different color palette. I call out to you, Lord Arceus. I call out to thee. In Heartgold and Soul Silver, I'm not sure if there's a legitimate way to obtain Arceus. Granted, there's not really a legitimate way to obtain Arceus until Legends of Arceus, because the event for Arceus in Gen 4 to get the Azure Flute kinda is long gone, but people still hack in the item to get Arceus in the Gen 4 games. Giratina, if Giratina blesses this game, I'm not getting a shiny until encounter 50,000. Get out of here, Giratina. You stay the fuck away from me. What did my boy Giratina do? He's freaking... He's Satan. I don't want any blessings from that guy. He's gonna give me worse luck than I already have had. It looks like it's gonna be my first ever mod to make it to the 8600s. Not such a bad thing? What? Crazy. This guy's crazy. You got it the time for red and blue games? It doesn't even make sense. Togepi didn't exist until Gen 2. But that is a, it's a cool rumor. But it just doesn't make enough sense, because Togepi didn't exist until Gen 2. Interesting rumors, though, to say the least. It debuted early in the anime. I guess that's true. I don't know enough about the anime, so I wouldn't have known that. Both were shown before Gold and Silver. That's interesting. I never knew they did that. Alright, here's 8,600. Uncharted territory for any of my shinies so far. And the problem is, we may not even be halfway there, technically. But I'm not going to think about that. We are more likely to have done at least most of the work than half or less than half of it. So let's just think about it that way. Or Origin Arceus? Origin Arceus. I don't even think I could say blessed by Giratina. Giratina would put a curse on this game. I would not be able to get a shiny under odds. It'd be literally impossible. Well, I guess good news for Midnight is that they're not missing out on on any shinies, to say the least. Been live for almost an hour now. And I'm back. Where's the shiny? Not here. Alright. It's not here. There's no shiny Suicune here. Not yet. I just mentioned you. I was like, well, at least Midnight, I don't think Midnight's not missing out on much. And then you came back like literally like a few seconds after I said that. Should have locked in. Well, I wish that's how it worked. I wish. Let's try catching Suicune from a different angle here. Hold on. What if I catch it from this angle? On the right. Oh, that didn't work. What about the left? Gotta try the left. That didn't work either. Alright. If we spin in a circle 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. That should work. Okay. It was worth a shot. My first Sentret. Hopefully this Super Frittatas take a hint. Sentret's first a good shiny. Whoa! Whoa, Midnight. Whoa! 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 I can't get behind it anyways. Oh, that's a crazy... That is... That's so horrible. Oh my god. There's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman. God, that is a... That has to be top 5 worst chats I've ever received. That has to be. Has to be. That is horrific. It's like, okay, let's get off of this topic, maybe. Let's get off of this topic. Oh, fuck me, bro. God, that's horrific. Everyone got a real sign. No, it's fine. I was just zoning out. I was thinking about how I want to do my Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke after this. Like, unironically, that's what I was thinking about. I don't know why. Because I've always found Gen 4, like, decent at best. Because I feel like the story drags a little too much. But for some reason, I've just been having the urge to play Platinum despite that. I think it's just because I love the Pokemon in Platinum. I feel like Platinum has like one of the best dexes. I'm just excited to do a challenge that tests my strategy more than my patience. Hey guys, we're all friends here. Yeah, there were many reasons I chose this game as my very first one to do 8192 hunts in. The starter is the easiest to hunt in this game. There's a lot of really cool Pokemon in Johto. I love the Heartgold story. And the fact that you get the overworld sprites in this game, like... It's a really nice game to shiny hunt in. Guess who my profile is? I can barely see it from where I'm at. My laptop is like a few feet away from me. But yeah, speaking of what you were saying, Midnight, I mean, this fucking Ho-Oh is so cool. Like, this is such a nice overworld sprite. Rin. Okay. Oh, is that the protagonist from Blue Exorcist? Because yesterday, when we were having this conversation about who my favorite Blue Exorcist character was, the name Rin popped into my head, but I was like, I don't remember. I wasn't confident enough to say it because I did not remember who the main protagonist was. But for some reason, the name Rin specifically popped into my head. Okay, so I guess that was just my brain having a very, very good long-term memory without me even realizing. Yeah, the overall Pokemon in this game are so nice. They're so nice. Can't wait to see what Suicune looks like when it's shiny in the overworld. Can't wait. Cannot wait for that. It's so weird that I knew that. Like, I don't know how to describe. It was just so vague. I was like, for some reason the name Rin popped into my head. But it didn't feel like it was me trying to remember who the protagonist was. It just popped, the name Rin just popped up randomly in my head when we were having that conversation. I'm like, I don't really have a strong recollection of what the protagonist's name was. But for some reason that name was in my head and I couldn't pinpoint why. And I'm like, alright, well, whatever. Does it show up as shiny in the overworld? Yes, this is Ho-Oh. This is Ho-Oh shiny. And it does this for every Pokemon. Like, look. You'll see that my Espeon is also shiny in the overworld. So. The Suicune won't show up as shiny in the overworld right here, though. When I'm soft resetting here, it's just going to show up as normal. But when I catch it, it'll show up as shiny. But here, when I'm encountering it, I can't tell if it's shiny in the overworld. If I could, I would just check that and not even encounter it. But it's the same thing as like when I was encountering Ho-Oh. It didn't show up as shiny in the overworld when I was soft resetting, but it did once I encountered it and saw that it was shiny. It would take a decent chunk less time, yeah. We could, yeah, essentially we could like around double the encounter rate. Because I would just be able to see if the purple was dark blue instead right here. Unfortunately, it's not how that works. I've mentioned that a few times actually, Midnight. I talked about that when I think I was soft resetting for Eevee, and I think even after I got Ho-Oh, I'm like, it would be kind of cool if that Ho-Oh on the title screen had the same odds to be shiny. That would be a cool uncatchable shiny to find. Yeah, I've mentioned that a couple times. I think we are like 3,000 encounters over what the 50-50 point is. God, that's demoralizing. Midnight, you're good at this stuff. Can you... I mean, it doesn't really matter. I just need somebody to search it up. Can one of you search up... What is the statistical probability of finding a shiny in 8,680 encounters or less? Here's the thing, I wouldn't actively hunt for the Ho-Oh on the title screen, but I probably would have already found it by now. Why do we never get remakes of the remakes? I think that partially comes from, like, we haven't remade every single mainline game yet. I think once the remakes catch up with the mainline games is when we'll finally start to get remakes of remakes. Oh, wait, I get what you mean. Like, remakes of Emerald Crystal and stuff. I think it's just because it would be redundant, because I think all of the content updates they add to Silver, to like, Silver and Gold, and like Heartgold and Soul Silver, is pretty much the same, shit they already did in Crystal. 65.34. Okay. Damn. To be fair, I guess that could be more unlucky. That could be worse. It's still a 35% chance that you get to numbers like this if you think about it. That really could be worse. I know by the time I get to like 20k, it's like a 90%. $8692. Yeah, the way I think about it is like the same odds as hitting a fissure or missing a hypnosis. Like, it's not really uncommon that that'll happen. So it's bound to happen. Yeah, even it's never technically it's never 100%. It'll just you could theoretically do an infinite number of encounters, and the odds will approach a 0% chance to not find a shiny, but it'll never hit that. So it is a very infinitesimally small chance that you could go an infinite number of encounters without a shiny. But as I said, it is infinitesimally small. You are more likely to slam your hand through your desk and all the atoms align to where your hand would go through your desk before that happened. It's near enough. It's effectively 100% by the time you hit like 70 to 80k encounters. It's 99% by the time you hit 40k. One story about a guy going above 100k without a shiny at all, or was that him phasing? Because sometimes videos like that will be like, oh, 200,000 encounters for this shiny, but it was like 30-something phases to get there, or whatever. And that's 100k without a shiny. That is incredibly unlucky. Because the worst one I've heard about is 71k, I think. That's the worst one I've ever heard about. Getting to 100k without a shiny, like, I feel like at that point you would have been more likely to get it first try, no? Without a shiny, that's absolutely fucking insane. I think I'd actually lose my fucking mind. I'm confident enough to know Suicune won't go that long. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure at that point I would have been more likely to have seen it first encounter than to go to numbers like that. $99.9995. Yeah. I don't even know what I'd do with myself. It's only like it's a 0.02% to get a shiny first try. Or maybe 0.01, something like that. That is way more rare to go that long than getting a shiny first try. Christ, dude. Poor guy. I feel so bad for that guy. At 87.25, I'm going to take a little bathroom break. But we're going to do that thing where I leave it on screen and you guys will see if it's shiny. And then it's not going to be shiny. And then I'm going to come back and be like, well, it's not shiny. Waiting for the day where Sonic gets a shiny back-to-back. He does so many hunts. I've seen it happen to a couple people. I've seen 3 instances ever where there were... Actually, I think 4 instances ever where there were shinies back-to-back. Once with 2 starters in the same screen in either Pokemon Heartgold or Soul Silver. I've seen 2 people... I saw one dude hunt for hunting shinies in, like... that one tunnel with Numel and Camerupt in like Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. He got a Torkoal and a Numel back to back. And then I saw one dude get like I forget what shiny it was, but he got a shiny in the Safari Zone, and then he got a shiny Shuppet outside of the Safari Zone back to back. And then there was a dude that got a shiny uncatchable Poochyena and a shiny starter in Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire or Emerald, one of those. I've seen 4 instances of that ever happen. Total. It's very rare. It's a 1 in 67 million. Alright. I'm gonna encounter this Suicune. I'm gonna take a little bathroom break. You guys will see if it's shiny. I will not until I come back. Alright. BRB. Alright, we're back. Oh, shoot. What's up, Alex? We're back. It was 25. I was right. HOG got a shiny Starly and a shiny Turtwig at the same time. Which game? Was that an old game? Or was that in BDSP? Because I know for a period of time there was a glitch in BDSP where you could get 2 back to back by holding like the L button, and it would like force your whatever you found to be shiny. There was like that weird glitch in BDSP for a minute. Hushiana plus a starter is diabolical, yeah. Because he saw the pooch. I remember the clip. The dude saw the pooch and he was like, oh, come on, man. He's like, well, let's see if the starter's shiny. And then the starter was shiny. He was like, what the fuck? Yeah, BDSP, there's a weird glitch where you can technically make... You could, like, force shinies when the game first came out. So this was right as when the game came out. Could have been a glitch. I see you're messaging me things on Discord, Alex. Yeah, I saw them. Yeah, I'm playing music. Almost at 87.50, which would take us up to 450 total for this stream. Pretty good. It's an interesting fun fact, Alex. I know nothing about any of that, but that's interesting. I don't know who those people are, to be honest, but... I want to finish this run so bad. Keeps calling me while I'm trying to run in the grass, so disrespectful. Dude, freaking youngster Joey has been spamming me on this game. Oh, you said... Oh, Eddie... Okay. I read Eddie Murphy. I read Eric Murphy first, not Eddie Murphy. I know who Eddie Murphy is. So that dude's son and somebody else had a child. Like, that's cool. But yeah, youngster Joey in this game specifically freaking spams my line. He's so annoying. Oh, my friend just messaged me something. Give me a moment. Back. Sorry about that. Computer crashed. It's all good. Happy Friday indeed. I'm very happy. It is May. It is officially May. Hopefully that means that the weather will start to be more consistently nice out and not just start, you know, going back and forth between good and bad. Oh, on Cinco de Mayo. That's cool. Do I have plans for Cinco de Mayo? I don't think so. But, I mean, I do know people that do celebrate. Just not me personally. Yo, what's good, M? M Sab. I don't know what to call you. Sab? M? I don't know. What's up, bro? How we doing? What's up? Not much, man. Just doing resets. I'm doing good. I had a pretty good week this week. Today's been pretty chill so far. Still kind of have a busy day though. Like I know I still have some schoolwork to do, and I gotta go to the gym, and I plan to hop on calls with my friends later, while also trying to fit in another stream later tonight. So today's a little busy, but good to be busy sometimes. I am still hunting Suicune, yeah. My luck hasn't been the best. This is my longest hunt now. My previous one was Eevee, which was 85-21. And we're at 87-75, and we're still going. I feel like everybody in my chat has seen the Pokemon anime except for me. I'm like the only person here that hasn't watched it. And I'm the fucking streamer. It's way past New Year. Hey, I stayed consistent with my goals. I started working out consistently again, because I used to, and then I stopped for a bit. But I started working out consistently again, like December of last year, and I've been going strong. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm close to getting abs. I'm close. I'm trying to look good for the summer. I'd rather be so busy that I have no time than be so bored that time drags. But having a blend of both sometimes is like sometimes having like one or two like really lazy days sometimes is nice. Like just having one or two days during the week where you're like doing nothing and just kind of just vegging out is kind of nice. But if we're talking about 24/7, I think I'd rather be more busy than not. XYXYZ anime was pretty good. I wouldn't know. Alola? I've seen clips from the Alola anime. It looks good. Alola is one of my favorite Pokemon regions in general. And is home to my favorite Pokemon of all time, Rowlet. In fact, my Discord PFP has been some sort of Rowlet PFP since 2020. I haven't had any other Discord PFP other than a Rowlet. Like, I've obviously changed it. It's been different PFPs, but they've all been Rowlet since 2020. My last ever PFP that wasn't a Rowlet was Kamina from Gurren Lagann. And then from that point onwards, it was a Rowlet PFP for the last 6 years on Discord. So y'all are bonding over the anime? God, I wish I could relate. I have nothing to add to this conversation. I feel so bad. I'm just sitting here watching Suicunes not shine. All I'm here doing. We're slowly approaching 9,000, which none of my mons have gotten to 9,000. If we're approaching 9,000, I'm inclined to believe we might get to 10K. I could watch the anime right now, but if I watched the anime on the side, I'd have to turn off the background music, which I know some people would like. So, which I'm actually kind of thankful for. I used to, when I started doing these streams, I didn't have enough chatters to where I could solely be distracted by chat, and I would have to have like a YouTube video or something on the side to watch while I did this hunt on stream. But now I have a consistent enough amount of chatters to where I don't need a YouTube video for distraction anymore. Which that makes me really happy. Like, I can just talk to y'all, and that's enough for me. I haven't... Like, I'm literally just going off of me yapping and the power of chat to get through these. I don't have anything else, other than the music, I guess, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, the games were my first ever experience with Pokemon. You finally escaped the Rattatas? That's good. Who knows? Maybe it's waiting for the right time to be shiny. For your sake, I hope not. Oh, man. God, the encounter number's getting high. I really wish I could say I was close, but truthfully, I don't know. I could be. I should probably be, but I don't know. $88.11. Ah, man. I'm personally not a big manga reader in general. I think I've genuinely only ever read one manga in full. Ever. And it was the Demon Slayer manga. It's the only one I really know. Crazy and shit was happening, not overwhelming, complex. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. I'm just sitting here fucking generating numbers. I'm getting really unlucky. Ugh. It only gets more demoralizing with time. It switches back and forth between being more hopeful and being more demoralized. And at the beginning of the stream, I was more hopeful, and now I'm definitely starting to feel more demoralized. Ah. 88888. Sorry, did I said way too many eights. 8888. I said 5 eights. 8888. Maybe let's hope it's not 88,888. That I think that would kill me. Like that would actually kill me. If it was that long, but 8888 is that's pretty tangible. I want to get to 9150 before the stream ends. Sorry, that was my mom. She just went grocery shopping. Get the shiny before you, that's when you should start crying. Nah, I'd feel more happy for you than anything. At least one of us would be getting something. If y'all wanna shiny hunt while you watch my streams, I actually encourage that. I think that would be like we could be in this together. Sometimes I do that. Like I'll watch other people shiny hunt when I shiny hunt, hoping to siphon some of their luck. Like, I think a couple of the shinies I got... I think when I got Eevee, I think I was watching a Sonic's video. I think the only way that any of you could make me jealous by getting a shiny while I'm doing this is if you hunted the same exact Suicune and got it before I did. And that's the only way I'd start to get a little upset. You got a shiny Poochyena and Radical Rub before you got Pokeballs? That fucking sucks. Yeah, shiny uncatchables are pretty unforgiving. That sucks. I'd have to get all the way up to 6 shinies plus or Suicune if I did all that before you get Suicune. I would have to get all the way up to 6 shinies plus or Suicune if I did all that before you get Suicune. Would you still be upset if you got a full team of full odds? Yeah. I definitely would be a little jealous. I'd be like that. But honestly, if you do that, you'd have to go down as like one of the luckiest fucking... You would have to buy a lottery ticket at that point. If you get a full team of full odd shinies and get my Suicune before I just get the Suicune. Especially starting from the point I'm at. I'm starting from over odds when you're doing that. Theoretically, it's possible, but it is unbelievably improbable. In the time I've been hunting this Suicune, I'm sure there's at least one person out there that's gotten potentially a team of full odd shinies already. Because they just got that lucky. There might be one person out there. Or maybe a couple, because I've also taken multiple day breaks. I think if I was hunting Suicune every day, 7 days a week, I would hope I would have gotten it by now. So with 1 and 256 and 15 encounter gap, that is pretty lucky. All your luck used. 1 in 2 billion is insane. That's fucking crazy. $88.66. Oh man. Yeah, your luck is just evening out. Once you make up for it, though. The odds of you dying this second is more likely than that. Well, I mean, you also got to think about it this way. The odds, because the way of calculating those odds is very specific. Like, theoretically, you could calculate what are the odds of getting 2 shinies exactly this many encounters apart, and it's going to be a big number no matter what, you know what I mean? Like, for example, me calculating the odds of getting a shiny at exactly 8873 encounters, while I'm sure it's happened to many people, it's probably going to be some ridiculously low number to call exactly what encounter number the shiny will pop up. And I think it probably works similarly with counting the gap between Pokemon. Like, being like, oh, at 1 in 256 odds, I'm going to see a shiny exactly 50 encounters from now. Like, even though that seeing a shiny up until 50 encounters probably isn't the most unlikely, at exactly 50, calculating that specific number is obviously going to be really low. The same way that calculating when if finding a shiny at exactly a specific number, it's obviously going to be a ridiculously low number. Which is why people tend to calculate how many encounters leading up to that as well. Not just that specific number. Because statistically, calling any number is going to be unlikely. You know what I mean? It's obviously bound to happen on one of those numbers, but each number is unlikely. So I wouldn't think too hard about it, is what I'm saying. Like, finding a shiny at encounter 8,885. Like, calling that exact specific number is much more unlikely than calculating how, like, what the percentage chance of getting a shiny is up until encounter 8,885. Or whatever. I hope that made sense. Quadruple 8, baby. Quadruple 8. Getting close to 9,000. We're 700 encounters above odds now. Jesus. Jesus. Oh, I passed Eevee a minute ago. Eevee was 85-21. In 300. Derek's like having a panic attack. I'm about 3,000. I'm over 3,000 past Nidoran, but I'm about 300 something. I think I'm. Now I want to know. Am I 380? I think exactly 380 past Eevee. Now 381. If I'm doing my math right. Meaning the Suicune is going longer than Eevee and Ho-Oh combined now. That's crazy. Not too surprised Suicune wanted to steal the spotlight. Me neither, because it was supposed to be like the last little hunt, like a little victory lap. Get another shiny instead of Gyarados, finish the game. And Suicune was like, you know what? I'm gonna make you work for it. You want a full odds team, right? I'm gonna make you work for this last one. I'm like, all right, you know what? Fair fucking enough. I haven't had to work OD hard for any of my shinies other than the Eevee, so I suppose it's only fair. But I think I'm due for one, you know? I really hope it's soon. I just hope it's soon. Hopefully within the next 1,000 or so. That's what I'm hoping for, but you can't win them all. Getting closer to 9,000 though. This will be my first and only shiny, because I'm not shiny hunting anything after this. My first and only shiny this run. That will have hit 9,000 or above. Anything to avoid seeing 5 digits on the screen? I would really hope. But, to be honest, if it hits 5 digits, it hits 5 digits. I mentally prepared myself for that possibility already, so... I am prepared for it. As much as I would not have wanted it to happen, mentally I've been prepared for this. I was mentally prepared that this could potentially go to double odds, so 5 digits was always in the cards. I figured since it's, 3 and 5 hunts go under odds, 2 and 5 go over odds, and I've already had 4 and 5 go under odds, I figured, if I'm doing a 6th hunt, surely this one's going to go over odds. And I was right. Well, 6 digits would... I'm not prepared for that. If that happens, which it shouldn't, God willing, that would be atrocious. That would be really bad if we went that long. In all honesty, I kind of hope that Suicune happens later tonight or early tomorrow or something like that, as opposed to during this stream, because, like I said, I'm busy today. Right after this, I'm probably just going to eat an apple and go to the gym, and then when I come back, I have to go do schoolwork, and then I have to call friends, and then I have to stream, and then I have to call friends again. So, ideally, it'll actually happen on tonight's stream over this one. But yeah. I don't know, it'd be pretty darn funny. Well, I mean, busy, I don't want to say busy, because obviously calling friends isn't necessarily like a busy activity. But, it takes up time, to say the least. I'm making it sound like it's a chore. I'm looking forward to calling my friends later today, but it's technically part of my schedule, because I planned to call my friends. And I'm obviously not going to bail on them. And it's 2 separate friend groups that I'm calling. One of them is just to call and hang out for a bit. The other one is like, my friend wants me to listen to this album that like an artist we listened to dropped. He wants to listen to that. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, because he said he was gonna do it when he came home from work, and at 9 o'clock I'm probably gonna be streaming. But if he's willing to hold off until like 11 or 12, I can probably 11:30, 12. I'll probably be able to call him after I stream. I don't know. Trying to make everybody happy is all I'm saying. Yeah, at least to say, I actually do kind of hope this weekend doesn't happen right now, and I hope it happens later. Because I'm not gonna... It would actually be kind of unfortunate, because I physically don't think I'm gonna have the time to grind up my team in between streams. Unless I do it while I'm on call with my first friend group that I'll be calling. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually be playing games with them, or if we're just going to be, like, chatting. But even so, even if that is the case, I don't think I'm gonna have enough time. It's gonna take a while to grind this team up. I want to get this team up to like low to mid level 50s, which is gonna be a lot. I could go around the map and try to find rare candies for specifically Suicune though. Headset died? That sucks. Do I have the lucky egg? I don't think so. Is there a way to get a lucky egg in this game? Or is there a way to gain extra EXP in this game at all? I think the lucky egg in a lot of cases you have to find a Chansey and use Thief to take its lucky egg, and it usually is a low chance for a Chansey to be holding one. I'm not sure if there's an NPC in this game that gives one. It would be helpful though. Make grinding a little faster. Damn, looked it up. 5% of Chansey, and you'd have to find a swarm of them. I forget how swarms work in this game anyways. I don't even know where to find Chansey, yeah. I thought it was something like that, though. Plus, I'd need to teach Thief to something, which... I think maybe Nidoking can get that, and I can just get rid of Strength, use Thief, and then reteach it. Or something like that. To be honest though, Chanseys themselves probably give really good EXP, depending on what level you find them in the wild at. Oh, okay, never mind then. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. I at the very least can train on Victory Road though, which has high level Pokemon, so. it won't be the worst. Like before, I had to just grind up outside of the Safari Zone against like level 20 Pokemon, but grinding up in Victory Road will probably be a little better. Granted, my Pokemon are higher level now, so it still might take around the same amount of time. You can check the radio for the swarm every day. I could. Well, when I get the Suicune, if I remember, I will do that. $89.89. Look at that. 10 until we hit 9,000. This is Mario music now, right? How you know we're far into the stream. That was exactly 800 over odds, by the way. 89.98, that's true. That's a palindrome. You know, I like my palindromes. Watching this now, choose it or lose it. Nice. Nice, Alex. $89.98 is not a shiny. Alright, well, if it's not this Suicune, it's officially our first to make it to the 9,000s. Alright, and here we are. This is Suicune number 9,000. And there it goes. The encounter number. It's over 9,000! No, okay. Sorry, I had to make the joke. It's over 9,000. Ain't no way he remembered. It's because a while ago when I was doing these, I thought 9001 would be an encounter number that I would end on when I got to this stream, but because I have done some extra encounters on some of the previous streams, and because I want to hit 10,000 tonight, I'm doing a little extra as well, so we're going past 9001. It was originally a number I had in mind for a stream to end on, but we're going beyond it. It's over 9,000. Palindrome again. Look at that. Wasn't too long before we got to our next one. It will be about 110 more before our next one, though. Again, my bad if you made that joke. I can't hear audio right now. Well, best believe I did make it. The moment it hit 9,001, I made that joke. I know he can't hear me right now, but maybe somebody will relay it to him. And this, my friends, is why Bill is officially my actual rival, and not JC, which is what I named the red-haired dude. Bill was my real rival this whole time. Notice how Eevee and Suicune, both dogs, both with good shinies, both in association to Bill in some way, were the only ones that went over odds. I know Bill did this. Everyone just spam L Bill in the chat. Don't actually. I mean, you can. I don't know. Yeah, fuck Bill. This is his fault. I know he did this. Anything he touches, he screws. Bill's secretly Goku? Nah, Goku wouldn't do this to me. Goku would use the Dragon Balls to wish that the Suicune would be shiny on behalf of saving the world. And my time. Ash hone rivals at Evergreen. Replace them as Pokemon now with Warehouse. Alex, you know a lot about the anime, man. Dude has anime knowledge on Pokemon for freaking centuries. Not even days, just centuries worth of Pokemon anime knowledge. I respect it. Nice. That's cool, Alex. That's cool. Pokemon was your first anime? Probably more things he knows than he doesn't know at this point. I feel like I've hit that point with the Pokemon games as well. I would hope. Although they're probably... The thing is, I don't know what I don't know. So it's hard to say. Watching Pokemon anime on TV since Pokemon Black and White anime on Cartoon Network. Yeah, it's a long time. It is a long time. I was like a kid when Pokemon Black and White the games came out. I remember when those games were like new. Like those were the newest Pokemon games. It's assuming we aren't counting the things that nobody knows, I guess. Is Pokemon Scarlet good? The games for Scarlet and Violet are alright. I don't think there's any particularly bad Pokemon games other than actually Diamond and Pearl saying they're bad as a stretch. They just kind of drag. They're not, I guess, horrible. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet aren't bad, but they're definitely in the lower half. Like they're definitely some of my lesser favorite Pokemon games that I've played. Watched Pokemon anime for 15 years, yeah. I wouldn't say it's a bad game. I think Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are decent games, but I think compared to other Pokemon games, I definitely think they're not as good as most of them. Like, I would pick up pretty much any of the Game Boy or DS Pokemon games before Scarlet or Violet, or Sword and Shield for that matter. I think the only decisively really good Switch Pokemon game they made, like that's like actually really fucking good, is Legends of Arceus. I can't speak for BDSP, but from what I've heard from my friends, it's kind of whatever. I also can't really speak about Let's Go. But from what I've heard, Legends of Arceus is the only, like, really good, decisively, like, great Pokemon game that's been made for the Switch. Of all the Switch Pokemon games I've played, it sure is mine. Do I like Pokemon Platinum? I like it more than Diamond and Pearl. I do think the story still drags just a little bit. Like, I think Sinnoh has a good story, but there are parts of it that drag a little too long for my liking and can almost get boring and repetitive at times. But other than that, I really like. I think the leveling in Platinum's pretty good. Like, it's definitely better than this game. And I think it has one of the best national dexes, and I think it has some really cool gym leaders. And I still think the story's good, I just think it drags too long at certain points. But it's a pretty good game. I would put it, like, somewhere in the middle of all Pokemon games. I think it's... Most people say that Platinum's one of the best Pokemon games I've ever played. I don't fully agree. I think it's overrated in that regard. But the next game I'm doing a challenge in after this is Pokemon Platinum. So, it's good enough for me to play it. Most Pokemon games are good enough for you to play it. It's a good game. But there are games that I do prefer over it. But I do think in terms of the dex, like the Pokedex and like the Pokemon that you can find in those games, it's pretty hard to beat. It has a really good dex. And the story is still good. I think if the story just dragged a little less and it didn't feel so slow and monotonous at certain points, I think it would be one of my favorite games. And it is a lot of people's. I'm not sure why you're sharing that information, Alex. I mean, you're saying it in the past tense, so I'm not sure if you live there now. So I guess it doesn't matter as much, but again, just be careful sharing that information online. Oh, you still do? I'm not sure if I would share that information online then, to be honest. There are 3 people watching your stream, yeah, but hey, you don't know who those people are. You never know. I haven't even shared what state I live in online. I'm just extra particular about that stuff, let alone the city or the county. Imagine Mr. Beast was watching. Well, I mean, I don't think he would do anything with that information either, to be fair. $90.90. I do not recommend exchanging phone numbers, guys. I do not recommend that. I would not do that. Will we get quad 9s? I hope not either, but, you know, it's entirely possible. I wouldn't recommend exchanging phone numbers, guys. Y'all have not known each other long enough. Just stick to Discord. Have I played Fortnite Zero Build? Yes. I used to play Fortnite a lot. I don't play it as much anymore. Do not exchange Facebooks either. That's even more personal, I'd argue. Because you can see, like, people's family members and stuff. Stick to Discord, fellas. Alright, well, if you've known him long enough, that's a different story, but... yeah. Be careful with your personal information, guys. That goes for everybody. I'm not, like, targeting you, Alex. I'm just saying. It's not the best thing to ask from people that you only know solely on the internet. And it can give away certain personal information, not just about the other person, but about you. So just... that's why I'm saying I don't recommend it. Yeah, but if you meet them on Facebook, it's a different story. That's much different. Like, I've used Facebook Marketplace once or twice, and I've met people that I technically didn't know, but I could at least verify that they were, like, real people and they were who they were, type of deal. Also, the people... actually, not there. I was gonna say something. Yeah, just don't give out personal information. That goes for everybody. I'm not targeting a specific person when I say that. I'm just saying, in general, do not give out personal information. It might be slightly different if you've known somebody online for, like, years and years. Like, you've had a really close online friend that you've known for a while, and you're comfortable giving them your phone number. That's one thing, but it's like... I don't use dating apps. I'd rather meet new people in person. I mean, that's fair. I love nowhere near Alex given what he said. Yeah, that's fair. But still. It's just never wise. It's what I'm saying. We're nearing the end of stream though, chat. We're ending at 9150. We got 41 encounters to go. Now 40. Yeah, sharing your state information is neither here nor there. I mean, people can't really do much with what state you live in. (9111) bad number? I guess so. All y'all really know about me is that I live in the East Coast. At least I would imagine that you guys have gathered that much about me, because usually when I stream, I say EST at what time I'm streaming. I don't think I've ever publicly shared what state I live in. Not that it would matter, but I don't know. I like being mysterious. But I don't really care. I know there's a lot of streamers out there that have disclosed, like a lot of famous streamers out there that have disclosed the state that they live in. So like that's not a big deal. Palindrome? Oh, 9119. I passed that. I forgot. I like told myself to pay attention to that, and then I just didn't. Can't type, by the way. There we go. Alright. After this weekend, we have 25 left, and that's it. That's all we're doing for the afternoon. And I will have to come back later tonight. And we're going to hit 10,000 later tonight. If you had to guess Maryland, it's an interesting guess. Florida, where Disney World is. I've been to Disney World, but I don't live in Florida. That's as much as I'll say right now. I do not live in Florida. I imagine you guys are saying that I live in the South because I say y'all a lot. I actually live more north. I'm more northeastern. Yeah, Alex got it. I live in New York. New York, born and raised. And now y'all know. I'm from New York. I don't know why I say y'all a lot. I think it's because I talk to a lot of people that are from the South, but also it's just like, it's a word that I picked up just randomly and just started saying because it's just easier than saying you all or you guys. Like, it just flows off the tongue a lot better. But I realized over the years that people have mistaken me for being Southern because I spam that. They were just guessing what state I live in. And I live in New York. I'm not sharing beyond that. Have I seen... I will say I have seen the Statue of Liberty. That much I will say. I'm not going to share, like, what county or what part of New York I live in, though. Not that even I think that would matter, but... just for personal reasons. Nine encounters left, chat. And then we end. Did I see the times? I saw it on TV. I wasn't there. I wasn't physically there. But I did see it on TV. There are people that wait at the front of that line in diapers because they have to show up like a day or two early to even get to the front of the ball. Like, nobody in New York, unless you're like a weirdo, actually wants to see that. Or go to the ball drop physically. You're gonna get a better view watching it on the TV than showing up physically. So I'd rather just not go physically and just watch it on TV like I always have. 4 encounters left. Stop watching after the gay couple started kissing. Why? I don't know, I didn't really fucking care. I mean, love comes in all forms. I don't really care what people do. That's just me. I don't really care. Alright, last encounter. This will be 9150. And, yeah, after this, I will have to come back later and hit 10k. Alright, let's do it. Alright. That's all I've got for y'all this afternoon. I will be back later tonight to finish this up. Hopefully finish this up. Yeah, that's about it. Like, I just really hope that this happens soon and not later, because I want to finish this game so I can, because there's been a lot of games I've wanted to play on stream recently, obviously, and I want to finish this before I do that. But yeah, I will be back later tonight to hopefully finish this up. Thank you all for watching. Thanks y'all for sticking with this for a while, by the way. Y'all have pretty much been sticking with this hunt as long as I have, so I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, hopefully it's soon. That's what I'm hoping for. Alright. I'm gonna stop yapping. I will catch y'all later. And we're gonna get to 10K when I'm back on later tonight. Unless it shines. Alright. See y'all.